5 seconds to go. Start. The girl was 18 years old when he went away. There came before his eyes a memory of her so clear that he was surprised. In all of his 6 years, he had never remembered her in that way. She was as lovely as a summer morning, and she was sweet and good. The waters of all the seas that he had seen were not as blue as her eyes, and no gold that he had mined was more beautiful than the expression on her face when first he told her that he loved her and asked her to wait for him. Being young, she was willing enough to wait, but she did not want him to go far away. He would never return, she said. So many of the old people she knew in that little town in the highlands had brothers or children who had gone away to make money and who had never returned. Many of them had never been heard of again. He offered her comfort for her fears and said, with his hand on his heart, that he would return to her. I shall turn up again, my love, he said, like a bad penny. But he added, I shall not come back with bad pennies in my hand, but with good gold in the bank. Who said I wished for gold? She cried in her fear. A little farm in our lovely highlands is good enough for me. But he made light of such an idea. He told her that she was a girl in a million and he would make £1,000,000 for her. When he was going away, he made her tell him once again that she would wait for him, and then he stepped on to the ship, leaving her crying. As he thought of all these things, he saw that the land had become much clearer. Quite soon he would be home. He had wired May as well as his family, asking them to meet him. When he was far away, he had been full of certainty. His family would be just as he had left them, and May would not have changed. There she would be standing, waiting for him, her lovely face full of happiness. His old mother, too, would be there, and his brother Will. But all at once a real fear touched his heart. Why should things be just the same at home when life had changed so much for him? Why should he expect them all to run to see him at the first opportunity when he had left them almost without news for so long? He found that he could not understand how he went through all those years without writing to his home more than 2 or 3 times. To me, he had never written. When he was doing badly and had no money, he did not wish to write and let them know that he had had no success. When he was successful and making money, he had had no time for writing letters. If no one was there to meet him, what would he do? He began to walk up and down, trying to pass the hours until the ship reached land. At last, his ship was within a mile of the homeland. The details of buildings began to show up clearly, and quite quickly they were very near. Then they were moving little by little, and with a last movement, the ship came to rest. At first, he could see no one he knew. There were others on the ship who also expected their families or friends to meet them, and about 100 people were down there looking up at the great ship and crying out when they saw their dear ones on board. Then he saw 5 people standing on their own away from the others, an old man and woman, a young man and a young woman, and a little boy of about 2 years of age. He saw them clearly now, his father and mother grown, aged in those 6 years, and his own May, with his brother Will, each holding a hand of the little boy. The truth came to him. The girl really did want the simple life of the highlands. She had married his young brother Will. Stop.